Good morning. We're having a few little technical glitches here, so we're going to get those figured out. If it's not one thing, it's another, y'all. But happy Wednesday morning, and thanks for popping in with us. I'm going to be bringing up a very special guest now that we have figured out how to get her into the basement and do all the things. I'm going to be bringing her up and introducing her to you. Many of you already know her. But before we do that, let's get a few things out of the way here. So if you're new here, I'm Warren, and my husband and I started a YouTube channel called Making It Home. So we're very happy that you've joined us this morning. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks for spending some time with us. So let's see who's in. So Judy Herman's here. Good morning, Judy. Thank you for coming in. Rainy Ridge. Well, gee. Tina's here. Virginia Alexander's in the house. Good morning. Jovita, my very dear Jovita. How are you today, dear? Okay, so this is going to be an easy chat to manage, at least for right now. Yeah, we've got some storms that are supposed to roll in this evening, and it's going to be rainy all weekend. Now, y'all, we go live at 8 o'clock on Fridays, and Joel is with me. So y'all do me a favor. When you hop into our live on Friday night, be sure to say happy birthday to Joel. His birthday isn't until the 1st, but we're going to be celebrating all weekend because it's a long weekend. Woohoo. So I'm taking my honey up to the top of Magazine Mountain, and we're going to have lunch at the lodge. I think it's called Skyview. But I was told by a friend of mine, not meaning to drop names, Mama B, that they have like a rattlesnake advisory going up there. So we're probably not going to be hiking. But after lunch, we're going to go down the other side of the mountain into Paris, Arkansas, where there are some really cool flea markets and antique shops, and we're just going to diddle around a little bit. So it's going to be a total R&R day, and I'm excited about that. And I know he is. I'm also making him his favorite German chocolate cake. That's right. I do it every year. Except for one. We went camping for his birthday now a few years ago. So I made my frosting beforehand and took it with, and I made cupcakes. And if any of you are familiar with RVing, the ovens that come in RVs, let's just say they're a level below Viking or Gen Air or anything real. So it was a challenge, but I got them made. We had German chocolate cupcakes, by golly. Anyway, it's a tradition with us. It's his favorite cake, and I love doing it. So, yeah. And then I don't know what we're going to get into beyond that, but we're going to have some fun. We'll take pictures. I don't know that we're going to be doing a video of this. We may. I don't know. We may. But it's supposed to be raining. So we'll see what happens. The mountains here are also beautiful when it rains because the mist kind of hangs in the valleys and just kind of rises. It's a very cool thing. Anyway, the guest that I'm bringing up, her name is Tina. And she is with Rainy Ridge. She and her husband, Eric, have a pretty interesting life going on. And we got to meet Eric and Tina at the 10 Killer YouTube meetup back a bazillion years ago in May. It seems like a bazillion years ago. A lot goes on when you're running a homestead. Anyway, um, super nice people, very genuine, very sweet. So without further ado, I'm going to pull her up out of the basement. Fix your hair. You got it? You good? You good? Nod? All right.
My hair.
She's ready to go. There she is.
I was worried you
Hi.
was going to reach down and pull me up by my hair.
I wouldn't do that to you unless I was angry at you or you were being a nasty. But you're not. That's not you. How are you,
everybody? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm glad it's Wednesday.
Well, I don't know. My vacation's going faster than what it should.
Oh, yeah, it needs to slow down for you. Are you doing
Yes.
anything fun on your vacation or are you just
It's a staycation. Goodness.
excuse me?
My mom always said, put your arms up.
This cough is coming back on me and I don't like it. It's no joke. You know, Mama V, she came down with pneumonia.
Well, you
Oh,
had a pretty bad bout of it too, didn't you?
I did. And I'm still recovering. So I apologize for my rudeness. Hacking all over the place. I was fine just a couple minutes ago. And now all of a sudden. Anyway, yeah, anybody who's gone through it knows. But yeah, I was talking to Mama V last night. She's recovering, but she has a long way to go. Because this, you know, the dizziness and the exhaustion, like you want to go do stuff, but just pretty much walking will just wear you out. So
No.
yeah, recovery taking a while. I got it in May and I'm still recovering. So again, I'm sorry if I start coughing and hacking. Tina, just take over the live if that happens again, okay?
I'll try.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel and what you're doing?
Well, we just do a little bit of everything, just kind of really document our daily life. We do woodworking.
Ooh,
I started a little garden this year. I actually got to, yeah, make something with my stuff out of the garden. I
fantastic.
was quite tickled.
Did you how did your tomatoes do this year? Did you do tomatoes?
I have two tomato plants. Yeah, they've done all right. I still have green ones coming on even. I got a couple of red ones over there I need to pick, but they've not done great, but this is really the first year I've done a garden, so other than when I was little with, running around with my mama.
Yep. Well,
So
good for you. Good for you. Yeah, our garden didn't do very well this year.
ours either. Well, like I said, when we went for what was it, over a month without no running water, it it suffered
Yeah.
when the well went out. We carried
Now,
water back and forth from work, but yeah, when you're washing and cooking and bathing and feeding dogs, and
yeah.
the garden kind of suffered.
Yeah. Yeah. What now I remember if it wasn't the first live you guys did, it was pretty close to the first, where you guys were in your shop
I think that
and
was
you
our
were,
first.
yeah. And so why don't you tell us what kinds of things, what kind of woodworking do you do? Like, are you making furniture? Are you, what do you do? What do you
I've,
like to do?
I like to do epoxy,
Oh,
like
yeah.
river tables and stuff. I've done a couple small river tables. The first one I made, we donated it at work. We have, usually it's shop with the cop. We call it shop with the hero because we're a very small community, and so we have, fire, EMS. We had people from the military come help everything, and we raffled it off and used the money for that. We take the kids shopping at Christmas time.
So cool. I love seeing that.
Yeah, it's a blast. We make it's now gotten to where it's a 2-day event. We have to divide the kids into 2 groups, 2 nights. And yeah, so we donated that. We raffled it off. I think it was just a little over $2,000 off that we raffled. Um, I've made a coffee table, and then we didn't like how the top finished, and I've actually sanded it off and then not got back out to finish it. But I
Nice.
made little cutting boards, spatulas, charcuterie boards. I like doing the epoxy in them, and they're a little smaller and easier to manage.
Yeah. Yeah. I like messing around with epoxy too. Well, both of us do. And
If
if
the weather would ever permit.
uh
That's one of our goals if we ever get a new place, to have a shop that is enclosed, heat and air in it, so temperature controlled, so we can
yeah.
do epoxy more.
Yeah. See, we have the shop, but it is not climatically controlled.
Well, as you can see, my shop back there, I don't even have a front completely on it. So, yeah.
Makes it hard
It's,
when it's humid.
yep. And like I said, when it has to be between 70 to 80 degrees and no colder, no hotter, that's hard around here in the Ozarks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. The table that I'm actually at right now, Joel and I made. It's a live edge.
I love live edge.
We were talking about doing a river, but we couldn't agree on the color.
I always want to play around and do different color streaks and do all this different stuff. And Eric's like, just leave it. Yeah, I can't do
See?
that. I
Yep.
love to play.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't, anyway.
Who
Yeah,
wants it to
so
be boring?
I can't do boring. Everybody does the same thing. No, no, no. It's a creative outlet, so let it go.
Exactly. I want it to be my own. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. How are the
I,
puppies doing? Are you still looking for homes or what are we doing?
well, they've gotten pretty big. They're almost not puppies anymore. I kept telling Eric to post something on Facebook and stuff, and I don't think he wants to get rid of them.
Oh, you're going to blame it on Eric, huh?
Oh, yeah, which we are down to 3 because some of them kind of like to crawl under my car. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
Accidents happen.
yep.
That.
So now everybody, every time somebody pulls in or out of the yard, everybody yells and runs, Puppy Patrol.
Puppy Patrol. Yeah. Paul Honeyman's here, all the way from England. Good
Hi,
morning,
Paul.
Sir Paul. Rebecca Touched by Yarn is in. And I saw there she is. Laura over at Sold on RV Life is here. We have some of the best subscribers. They're becoming like family to us.
Exactly.
You know, that's one of the neat benefits of doing a YouTube channel. You get to build a community.
Yeah, we've met so many nice people, and like I said, right here close within the 4 states, and
Yeah.
gosh, I've met people all over the world. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you know, life is hard right now. Things are tough right now.
Yep.
It gets
Everywhere.
a little easier. Yeah, everywhere. And it gets a little easier to carry when there's a community of you carrying it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
there's a nice
yeah,
breeze blowing.
we haven't met any nasty people. We still have not, since we moved to Arkansas, we have not met any nasty people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's all we knew back there.
Right.
I don't want to say where, but Colorado is not what it used to be. Oops, I said it.
I think I've
So
only been through Colorado once, and that's been, oh my oldest one was 2, and yeah, she's almost 30. So
that's what I
it's
tell people.
been a few days.
It's a great place to visit. It's a better place to drive through, but you do not want
That's
to
what
live
we
there.
did, was pretty much drive through.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty. The mountains are pretty. It's pretty, but you almost have to take out a second mortgage to go skiing. For a couple to go
Oh,
skiing,
I'd
for
break my legs if I tried to ski.
break your legs and break your back. Because once you eat, you get your lift tickets.
Yeah.
This isn't including what you're paying for skis and the clothing and all the stuff. Just the outing alone is $1,000.
It's more fun just when it snows here. We'll just get an old feed sack and slide
Bingo.
down the hill that way.
Yeah. Yeah. If it gets cold enough, this year, maybe we'll be able to ice skate on our own pond instead of
Used to
paying
do that as a
25.
kid when, well, I
Oh
don't know.
yeah. Oh yeah. Now
I
have
don't know if
you
I'd
have
want to
you
do that
been
nowadays.
yeah. Well, have you been in the southwest corner of Missouri for a long time?
My whole life. I've been here on the farm my whole life.
It was a family farm.
Hmm.
Wow.
Well, and what adjoined on the back, my brother actually sold before he passed. That was the last piece of the original homestead.
Okay.
My mom and dad bought this in '68. Um, my dad's sister actually got the last of the farm, and which my brother got that piece from my uncle. And my mom and dad really wanted it. And she's like, no, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell. And so they found this place that adjoined it, and they bought it, and then she sold. And so, yeah. So there's none of the original homestead from, the last 300 years that is still in the family. So,
That's neat. There's a lot of really cool history up there in your area.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty, yeah. I love it here. Like I said, and everybody says, oh, 4 or 5 generations, that ain't much, but they're a lot longer generations. I mean, my granddad was born in 1900. So, and then, my dad, let's see, he was born in 39. So granddad was almost 40. I think dad was about 40 when I was born. And yeah,
wow.
so we've been here quite a while.
Yep. My kin comes from here too, south of where we are. They were around Blevins and Hope in that area.
Okay.
And my grandpa was actually quite notorious in these parts. He was not a nice man.
Oh,
My grandma, a saint, a saint. She
it's
was
usually how
Cherokee.
it works. Opposites attract.
Well, according to family legend, and you know how family legends are, and I tend to believe it though.
Right.
Um, Grandpa stole grandma. I think she was 12 or 13 when he stole her and made her his wife.
Oh, goodness.
I don't think she was a willing participant, but she hung in there. They were married for 70 years
Oh,
when grandpa
my.
passed. Yeah. And how grandpa lived to the ripe old age that he did is beyond me because him was sour grapes.
Mm.
But they say only the good die young. But then that wouldn't explain why my grandma lived to be 103. Anyway,
Well, that's what I say. All my family passes away. Nobody makes it to 70. So I'm going to enjoy life the last few I got here.
there you go. There you go.
My dad died when he was 66. My mom
Oh,
made it
wow.
to 69. She got close. Well, my brother was only 47, but yeah. So my grandparents actually, I think granddad was 71. But like I said, that was before I was born. And yeah. So
Wow.
like I said, who knows how much time we got here. So I'm going to enjoy it. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
Exactly. I heard
Which
something.
I learned that the way my mom passed. So yeah, she was healthy as a horse on her way to work. So you never know.
Oh, wow. Wow. No warning, no idea that anything was off.
No, we actually had, it's been, let's see, it was 2013. We had a big flood and the water washed her away in a place that we'd never seen. I actually drove through, me and my husband both had drove through the same area an hour or so later, and it just broke loose and washed. There wasn't even water on the road when we went through. I just noticed
Oh,
the
wow.
roadsides are bent and there's gravel on the road. And I had actually was taking pictures of the creekways when I went through, but somebody was coming. She was still downstream there.
And you
They didn't
didn't
find her
know?
for a couple. No,
Oh
it
my.
washed that hard that it shoved the car so far that you couldn't see it from the road.
Oh my word.
So yeah, like I said, first few years is hard to deal with it,
Yeah.
but you know what? She lived a happy life. She was healthy. She never even hardly took any medication. She
Yeah.
was on her way to work and she went just like that. She never had to suffer or nothing. So that's the way to go,
Okay.
I think.
If that's the way you're gonna go, that's the way to go. Yep. Yep.
I hear other people, they're watching their parents, lay in
Yeah.
bed and suffer and everything. I never did that. And I wondered, would it be better because you could talk and say goodbyes, and all that? I never got that either, but like I said, I didn't have to see her suffer. We
Yeah.
sat out in her yard the night before and talked and visited, and that's how I remember. So,
My dad had always been extremely healthy. He was to the day he died a Marine. Um, so he had that ethic, he had that discipline, and he was my hero. Well, everything was fine, everything was good. They were happily retired, they were having the time of their lives. He had built my mom her dream home in the Ozarks down in Winslow. And they were on a trip to go up into Missouri, up to Boonville, to visit my sister. And they stopped at a hotel in Rolla. They had gone to dinner. They came back. Mom was fixing them a cocktail. They had a cocktail every night. And he got up to walk toward the bathroom, hit the ground, had a seizure. The little bitty hospital in Rolla checked him from top to stern to and they discovered that he had brain cancer,
oh goodness.
and it was inoperable. And the doctors all told him, if you do absolutely nothing, 3 weeks. If you take the chemo and the radiation and you do the things and you do all the stuff, maybe 6 months. So he and mom talked about it. And all us kids, we were scattered all over the country. We congregated there at mom and dad's. And we all talked about it as a family. That was something we had never done before. And dad decided he was going to go ahead and he was going to try the radiation and the chemo. Okay. He hung on for 3 years.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. But it was a miserable 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, I remember having the conversation with him. We sat together. In fact, I was sitting with him holding his hand when he passed. But prior to him getting to that point, we sat and we had that life talk. And I told him, I said, Dad, you've taken me as far as you can. It's okay to go. It's okay. Didn't want him hanging out and suffering any longer.
Right.
And it was less than a month later. He went ahead and went.
See,
So
that's what I wonder sometimes. Did I miss that? It would have been so cool to ask a few more questions and everything, but then, like I said, stop to think about it. Well, this is what God meant for her.
yeah.
So, which
Yeah, and
is
that's
really
how
funny because she was always afraid of drowning. She loved water and she loved to go swimming, but she'd never get anywhere over her head or anything. She made sure us kids had swimming lessons down at the creek when we were little.
mm-hmm.
And like I said, it was just kind of ironic that that's how, yeah, that she went. But after my dad had passed, we begged her, why don't you retire? She worked at the chicken hatchery for 33 years when she died. And she's like, well, what do you want me to do? Sit home and get old? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, she finally got a job where she sat down and was grading chicken. She said, it's not hard on me and nothing. I got something to get up and do, a purpose in life. I'm not going to just sit home.
What
So it's like,
hatchery did she work
okay.
at?
So that gives me the motivation to stay at my job. I keep thinking, oh, I want to quit. But, mom could make it down there that long. I can make it a few more years.
Which hatchery did she work at?
Simmons.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. It used to be one of the largest ones in the world, but, everything else has grown up so much. And which is kind of funny. Jessie, my daughter, now has pretty much her exact job. When
Is
mom
that right?
passed, the guy that took over her job has been there this whole time. He retired. Jessie got his job. She's like, I've got Nanny's job. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I need to say hi to some more people in chat. So hang on there with me,
Yeah,
Tina.
there's new ones popping up there.
Well, we've got Tamara over here at Heartland HQ, the Think and Tank. And there's Paul Honey. Camping Cage Free is in the house. How
Yeah,
you
lots of
doing?
neighbors in here, don't I?
Yeah, this is awesome. We've got a lot of people saying hi to each. Well, there's Beth over B and Us Odyssey.
See.
Building with Keith and Mickey in the house.
Hi, Keith and Mickey.
Hi. They're fun. Did you get you got to meet them at 10 Killer, didn't you?
At 10 Killer and then over at Jason and Terrace.
Yeah.
We went to help on the cabin.
That's right.
The
Yeah,
YouTube
you and
studio.
your daughter went over. Yeah.
Yep. We had a great time over there.
That was amazing. Talking about community,
Yep.
everybody coming together and they got some things that they're plotting and hatching that I think we're all going to be getting together over there when they get back and get their feet underneath them again.
Yep.
Things are brewing.
Yeah. Like I said, we've planned on building a cabin out here.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
house is old and falling apart. And then, like I said, my sister one day will say, we'll sell the farm. And then the next day she don't. We keep putting stuff off. And but we keep talking about it.
Yeah. Well, Arlene's in the house. And so is
Arlene.
Mama B at Possum Run Homestead.
Arlene always makes me think of my mama every time I see her coming to chat. My mom's middle name was Arlene.
Oh, okay.
I've never met anybody that's with that name, and every time I see her, so she makes me smile.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in here that make me smile. Rebecca Touched by Yarns in the house.
Morning, Rebecca.
Hope you're feeling well. Karen Brust is in the house. See, Joel usually does this, and I just yammer. So, yeah.
Karen was a big winner last night in Amy's live. She
What
kept
happened?
winning numerous things.
How did I miss her? What was I? Oh,
It's hard to
Yeah,
keep get out and
we're
do stuff and catch everybody. I know.
well, we're working on some things to auction off. Rambling with the Brooms, Scott over at Rambling with the Brooms
Hmm.
brought this to the forefront of everybody. And Jesse and Lisa over at Lazy Days Ahead, they're doing an auction this coming Saturday, and it's going to be an all-day thing. And we're
Yeah, that's
raising
what
money.
during our live.
Yeah,
But
and like they said last weekend, they apologize for
we understand.
interrupting, but so we volunteered to donate some items. So we have been a little bit crazy busy. In fact, I've got to take photographs of the stuff today and get them out to Scott and to Jesse. And so we've been a little busy the last couple of nights. We love our laser engraver. Anyway,
I want to get one of those, but then, yeah, like I said, I am not computer savvy. I bought a Cricut thinking I could do all this. I was ready to open the door and throw it out. We bought it's not a laser engraver. Sorry, memory loss here. What is the router? I can't think of what it's called.
a CNC.
Yes.
Come
And
on, I know words are
I've
hard.
had it almost 2 years. We've yet to get it to work.
What?
One day, I know Eric had to have it, and he gets mad and starts throwing stuff when it doesn't work his way. And it's like, just walk away from it. Costs too much for that.
Okay, so that was me. So Joel had to have a CNC, had to have a CNC. Oh, had to have a CNC, had to have it, had to have it. And I looked at the price tag and said, no, you have to eat. You don't have to have.
We actually
So
got
that's-
this one on a Black Friday sale, so
Well, this stinker, he watched a bunch of videos on YouTube and figured out how to make his own CNC.
oh, cool.
He made his
Wow.
under $50.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we were making all these POWMIA plaques for the different VFWs around the country, and because they, would hand out these plaques to various different members for things. And we were making all of those, and we were recognized by the VFW for our contribution from a homemade CNC machine. The guy's brilliant. So if you need help with it, he's the guy to hit up.
Cool.
He'll get you going.
Like I said, I was doing little plaques and stuff. Well, I would, draw stuff on and then get the little router and carve out by hand. But that's a job.
I know. Yeah.
Then you
it
sit
is.
there and rub your hands, and yeah. Sorry, the wind's blowing, the hair's driving me crazy here.
This is why I wear the bands when I go out to take care of it.
But there's always just a few stragglers here.
Right? Just
and the sun keeps moving on me.
have I missed it? Oh, wait, I did. I missed somebody. There's Carla, Mr. and Mrs. Walter Job Jr.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carla. I'm missing people, folks. I'm sorry. If I miss you, I don't mean to. It's not like there's an overwhelming number of you, but I'm trying to pay attention to what we're doing here. And, my other half is usually the one who's handling all of this.
We made them go to work today.
Yeah.
Actually, this week felt pretty good because, like I said, Eric has a rotating schedule. So this week he had Monday and Tuesday off, works Wednesday and Thursday, and then he'll have the weekend off. So we got to spend most of the time for my vacation off together without him having to take off time. So,
are you guys both off on Monday?
Yeah, but I think I got some stuff that since I've been gone this week, I've got to get in and do. So I may just run into the office and get that done. And my month usually starts out with a bang the first few days, and I got to be ready for that.
I'm going to try something real quick. Because, this is the only chance I have to learn, because you got to learn. You got to keep learning. I'm going to try to put you up here on the screen by yourself.
Uh-oh. You
Oh,
don't want
don't
to do
freak.
that.
Don't freak. It worked. It worked.
I can make goofy faces.
Can y'all still hear me or?
I hear you great.
Okay. Wow. Hey, this is kind of punchy. Okay, there we go. Hi.
Hi.
So I learned something. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's fun. So yeah, Jovita, I think we need to have another talk. She's neat. If she's not one of your moderators, think about making her a mod. She's
Oh, she's
fantastic.
definitely one of mine.
Good. She is fantastic.
See, I think I've
We
got her, you, Dale. Trying to think who else. Like I said, I'm a little spacey and forgetful, so yeah.
and that's easy to do when you're a content creator. My days
I
just
do it
kind
in
of
everyday life.
yeah. Oh, you're not going to blame it on YouTube? Wow, that's
Yeah.
authentic.
I've always been a little spacey and ditzy, but like I said, normal's
Yes,
boring.
it's normal. That used to be my saying. Normal is boring. Normal is boring.
I know Eric, like, I get so excited about, let's go do this and let's learn this and then he's like, oh, brother, we ain't got the last wild idea I got figured out yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So not much rocks Joel. He's pretty steady. I, he's just easy, right?
Right.
On the weekends, he tends to get up a little earlier than I do.
Boy, not Eric. He likes to, on his, of course, he works 12-hour days where I only work 8-hour days. So
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
he likes to sleep in a little, but yeah. I don't know why I can't get up now. I turned my alarms off and everything, and then I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning and thought, oh my gosh, I've slept in.
Oh. Oh. Well, the thing that will cause Joel's knees to tremble is when I stumble out of the bed. He hears me walking down the hall. I walk into the production area and I look at him and I say, so I had a dream. Because he knows that's going to mean something's going to happen.
I hope so, because I've had some weird dreams lately, and I never dream very much.
Well, I know what's fixing to happen over here. See, this deck happened because I had a dream. The Brahma
Let's
chickens
cross our
happened.
fingers and say a little prayer for me that mine come, well, kind of come true, because they're weird too.
Wow, there's a bald eagle flying over.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, he was low. So we might be onto something. I think I'm being told something. I'm being given a sign. I need to
That's
build an
awesome.
aviary for eagles. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's a plan afoot. We have one of our little chicks. Now, well, we're not a teenager yet, but we're closing in on being a teenager. We got him in June. So do the math. Anyway, she broke her leg
Mm-hmm.
and we doctored her. But when we went to reintroduce her back in, they would not accept her.
Oh,
So yeah. And both of us are soft touches. Most people would have done something different with her. But no, she's going to get her own chicken coop. I'm going to design it to look like a little palace. And she's going to have a fully enclosed yard. We're going to put a little pond in it. And we're going to get her a little white Peking duck as a friend. And she is Princess Fiona. Having acreage and having the space to be able to do funky things like that, it's mind blowing.
yeah.
We have so much fun out here. Everything
I
has
want
a
a chicken
function.
coop and some chickens so bad, but we can't
Because why?
because Jessica works at the hatchery and they don't allow chickens, no fowl of any kind where they live. So yeah, I tell her she could go live elsewhere, but the
Oh,
prices of stuff is outrageous, and
I don't know how kids are doing it.
yeah,
I do
we
not
tell
know
them
how.
they help out with bills and stuff. So
Yep.
now, if we ever get a new place, I told them, I said, you can live on the farm, but you can build your own little cabins.
Are you guys thinking about finding a different place?
We've talked about it over the years. Like I said, the farm is so big and without a tractor, nothing like that, we can't take care of it. It's overgrown. Um, my sister is actually this last week talked about selling. And like I said, I own it with my sister. So it has to be a mutual agreement. And
Yeah.
every now and then she'll come up and decide she wants to, and then she changes her mind. So yeah, like I said, but we've actually been going and looking at properties this week. And so we're crossing our fingers.
You're going to stay in the general area though,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so you work for the sheriff's office?
Mm-hmm.
Are
20,
you
almost 20 years.
are you dispatch or administration or
No, Eric is actually in dispatch, which it's a whole separate entity.
okay.
911, we have a separate 911 center. Um, I work at the sheriff's office. You know, I did years, 10, 15 years, 10 years in the jail, which I still go back there and help. Um, I've never really worked the road. However, do go out and do stuff, but mostly work in the office. So
What is your rough general population number on a daily average in the
we've
jail?
actually been low for summertime. We've only had averaged about 40 people.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's
Several
going
years
on?
ago, we were averaging about 60, and we only had a 36-bed facility.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, and
jails
now we've
everywhere.
actually built on 10 years ago, and we've actually got a 64-bed facility, and we've stayed down low. So
That's
this
awesome.
summer,
Apparently you're doing something right up there.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's it's one thing though. Working in the jail, I learned one thing: no matter how bad life gets, I've always got it better than that next poor soul who walks in that green door.
Yeah.
So it's always made me think. And like I said, I've met some great people that come in because sometimes bad things happen to good people. Not everybody that goes to jail is bad. So I've actually met several great people in there.
Oh,
So
sure. Yeah,
some not so great too, but
I'm a firm believer and going back to my days as law enforcement, um, I met so many really good people that just made stupid choices.
yep,
And usually it was under the influence of something,
yep,
otherwise they were, so everybody got treated with respect, except for people who committed heinous crimes against children.
yep. And that's a
They
lot of what I
typically,
deal with now.
they would, it was about 100% of the time they would resist arrest.
Yep.
It was okay. We knew how to handle it. Back in the day,
And that's what we've always tried to teach the new jailers come in and stuff. And it's like, treat people, you don't give in to them everything, but you treat people how you want to be treated if you were in that position. They're
right,
still human no matter what. So
right. Everybody makes mistakes.
exactly.
Everybody makes mistakes. It doesn't make you a bad person. It
Right.
makes you a person who made a mistake. Now, if you keep making that same mistake over and over again, and I see your butt in the jail, once a month or so, we're going to have a serious sit down.
Yep.
that becomes a character flaw.
I had
But
one young man several years back, and he did make a bad mistake, and his girlfriend ended up passing from it. And that poor kid, and he never said he didn't do it anything. He cried
oh,
every day, and the morning he went to court, I told him I was going to pray for him while he was at court and everything. And he did get a lighter sentence. He didn't, like I said, he never tried to say I don't deserve this anything, but he come back from court and said that he'd gotten this and it worked out for him. And he says, I want to thank you so much for praying for me and everything. Like I said, not everybody's bad people.
yeah,
Sometimes bad just happens.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I
See,
still remember that young man, and it's been several years ago. And yeah, I always often wonder, I wonder how he's doing.
yeah.
And then a lot of them I grew up with, went to school with, and it's
Well,
like,
Bill, what are you
homecoming
doing
week sometime when they come in.
Bill, what are you doing in here? Well, yeah, I had a few of those. Yeah, yeah, Beth, Eagles in Arkansas, you betcha. In fact, that's a year-round thing. Folks up around Mount Magazine, they're seeing them a lot. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that when we're up there this weekend, we get to view some bald eagles flying around. And they are, they're huge, they're massive.
Yeah, usually come fall, usually more in October. It is a little early, but over towards Stella in the northeast part of the county here, people
Yeah,
come from all over to view the eagles, that they just migrate there. It's crazy. But they're beautiful. I'll have to go out and get some videos when they start up.
yeah. Now, talking about the eagles starting to migrate, everything is early this year. I was talking with a person who lives a couple miles up the road from me. Their coon dog showed up over here, and anyway, had a collar on, and so I called her up. She was trying to get her son awake so he'd come down and get his dog. But anyway, um, they have trail cams. They have, I don't know, 300 or 400 acres over there, and they've got cams all over the place. And she said 4 o'clock in the afternoon, one of the biggest bears she has seen around here
Oh,
came right up into their open pasture.
oh my. We've had a few sightings around here. Now, I've never seen one here, but we've had sightings around the county and stuff with bears.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're, and I smell them. I've only seen one this year so far. And fortunately, zero sign of any boars coming through. So that's good. But I know they're here because my neighbor across the road from me, across the road up the hill and over yonder, she's been having a pretty serious problem with hogs over on her place. But
Yeah.
her son-in-law and grandson are hunters extraordinaire, and they're taking care of the situation.
Yeah. We always have people beg to come out here and hunt, and we let a couple, but not very many.
We've got a we've got a mountain lion hanging around over here too.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he's got a pretty broad range. He only comes through about once every 3 or 4 weeks. But you know when he's here, everything knows when he's here. It's,
No birds singing or nothing, huh?
no, it's just it's even our goats and the dogs stay right close to the house.
Oh, I bet.
And I keep an eye on and I keep the powder dry and I keep it close to the door. So, yeah, if we have any problems, I can handle it. Charlene Grady's in.
Hey,
She
Charlene.
Charlene, you're never late. You're always right on time. I'm
I
trying to
seen
keep up.
earlier you said we were supposed to get some storms. I wonder if they're just going to go down your way or if they're going to come north a little. Because we could use some
I'm not
rain.
I'm not sure which way they're yeah, I'm looking at my apple trees right now and they really need a drink of water.
Yeah.
So anytime it wants to rain, that's fine, but then it means I'm going to have to cut the grass again. Yipes.
Yeah, that big storm we had a couple weeks ago. Actually, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. I lost my big pear tree that my dad had planted, and
Oh, bummer.
couple then it fell over on a couple of the peach trees. I have one good peach tree left, and yeah, I
Now,
didn't haven't had apple trees grow. My dad planted most of these before he passed, and I've tried to keep everything growing, and yeah.
the apple trees that I planted out here, they're 2-year-old trees and they're already producing apples. So,
Awesome.
yeah, they like it here.
Cool.
But do you have a wood lathe?
I do actually have two of them. One of these days I'll get them going too. I
Some of
actually
the,
have a small one. I was going to start doing pins,
yeah.
and yeah. And then I actually found a shopsmith on Marketplace
Oh,
for 150 bucks. And I couldn't pass that up, but there's so much stuff in the shop. I don't have anywhere to get it set up to use good. So, like I said, a new place and new shop, and everything will be organized one day.
yeah, yeah. That's the nice thing I like about our shop. And it was one of the big reasons we bought the place. It's a 12 or 1400 square foot shop, so it's
Oh,
huge.
wow.
Yeah, he can have. I mean, it's a playground in there.
Right.
But because
And our
we've been
shop's a
having,
good sized shop. However, it was my dad's, so all his stuff's still in there. Um, when Eric's grandparents passed, he boxed everything up and it's in there. And stuff from my mom's house after she passed, it's boxed up and it's in there. And there's no room make so yeah.
yeah,
It's hard to get rid of things. I know,
it
hoarder
is,
syndrome.
and guilty as charged.
Uh,
Yeah, so we've got to get that organized, but our priority has been to get our home livable and safe,
right.
livable, safe, clean. And we're still living in a construction zone. Most of the big stuff is done. Like the floors are done, the walls are done. But we still have a ton of work to do.
There's
And I
always
don't
a
think
ton of work to do no matter what.
it just never ends. But
Yep.
that was the priority over getting the shop set up. But it's a mess. It's a mess, but it'll get better. Rome was not built in a day.
That's for sure.
But our next big project is we've had a couple of trees come down. One of them is pear, and best believe and know, this little girl is going to be turning out some pear because it is beautiful to turn on the lathe.
Yep. I've actually got we've cleaned up most of the limbs and everything from the storm, but the pear tree I haven't really messed with yet because I want to use it. So I'm hoping to keep some of that because it was a good sized pear tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at mine and yeah, it's good in season now, but we need to do something with it. We're toying around with the idea of getting a lumber mill because we want to mill our own lumber. We've got so much timber around here.
That's always been our thing too. Yeah. We want a sawmill and then we'll figure out build our own kiln. We want to do everything straight from the tree
Yep.
to basically, like, yeah, from farm to table. But yeah, I always thought that would be super cool to do. And like I
Yeah.
said, 260 acres of trees, we've got plenty of trees.
And
And we've thought about
that's
getting
a
a
heck of a
sawmill,
way to,
but it's kind of hard to do anything without a tractor. Those logs get heavy.
well, see what you need to do. You need to get your channel to blow up and then go for a sponsorship with a tractor company.
Got
It
an
can
old
be
one sitting over there, just can't keep it running.
uh, yeah. Yeah, we know how that goes too.
Yeah. And we're not mechanics by any means.
Yeah. We're doing the best we can, right?
Right?
That's
One
the
day
name
at a
of it.
time, one step at a time is all you can do.
That's the way to go.
Yep.
We're going to start winding it down a little bit. Tina, thank you so much
Well,
for
thank you
coming up
for
here with
having me. I had a blast. Always good to get to sit and visit with you.
We need to get you and Eric down here, or we need to come up there. One of the two. We
One of
keep
these
threatening
days.
it.
I keep
We
telling
keep
you, I got a
threatening.
little walnut I'm going to bring down to you.
You know, the summer just has gotten away from us.
I know. Absolutely.
It's been so crazy busy, but we love you guys.
We love you guys too. Like I said,
I
you're
want to,
close enough. We should be able to travel down and back and forth. But like you said, time just gets away.
yeah, we're not but what 2 hours away from each other, but here we are.
How far are you from Fort Smith?
Well, who's driving? If I'm driving,
I say we're 100 miles north of Fort Smith. We just across the line.
yeah, you're not even 2 hours from us. It's maybe if he's driving, it's 30 minutes and a lot of prayers if I'm in the passenger seat. Well, okay. Prayers, nagging prayers, kind of interchangeable. Watch your speed limit. I don't care what the other guy's doing. He's not going to pay the insurance premium. He's not going to pay the ticket. Knock it off. There's cops sitting around all over the place right here. You just slow down.
Eric doesn't let me drive.
Oh, are you the speed freak?
Maybe. Yeah, my driving scares him. But his driving scares me sometimes too.
See?
I've
Y'all,
learned to just use my imaginary brakes and yeah, keep my mouth
oh,
shut.
I'm getting better about doing the whole.
Right? That never helps, but it doesn't keep me from doing it.
It doesn't do a darn bit of good. I'm getting better. I kind of, I stay over on my side and I'm always looking for an
Oh, now
exit
look, Eric
strategy.
popped in here and he's calling me out. Says I drive like an old grandma. Well, I am an old grandma. I drive different when you're not in the car.
Point caller. Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up. As always, thank you for coming in and spending a little bit of time with us.
I had a blast. Thank you again so much.
It was fun having you. You got my digits.
Got him.
Y'all be blessed. And keep looking up. Say thank you. Do that often. Keep that attitude of gratitude. And y'all, we will see you on the flip. Don't forget, we go live Friday night, 8 o'clock. And Tina, when do you go live next?
Saturday at 7 o'clock.
All right. Mark your calendars, y'all. And hey, keep your eyeballs peeled for that special auction coming up to raise money to take care of a very special little girl who has brain cancer.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you on the flip. Bye.